Students, everybody's really a teacher when it comes down to it. So I always look at myself as both a teacher and a student. But just to kind of give you some idea of me and my take on the whole teacher philosophy, I really view my role as a spiritual teacher very, very simply. So there's really only a few things that I focus on as a quote-unquote teacher. And I don't even really consider myself a teacher. I'm a explorer. I'm, was born into this world just like each of you, and decided at some point that I needed to look for some sense of meaning. So that led me down this quite incredible path. But really, at this point, since some people call me a spiritual teacher, and I have a few books published, so it seems to be a role that I've kind of tumbled into. How I view it is really simply, a spiritual teacher, first and foremost, always directs whoever they're talking to back into the present moment. To become present, to be grounded, this ultimately is the main process of spiritual training, in fact. There's a great lesson in my new book, which I'll talk a little bit about here. It's not out. I'm writing it at the moment, and that is actually what inspired me to start doing these contemporary Dharma talks. But the very first lesson in that book is come back to where you are. Come back to where you are. That's primary spiritual training. And that's the main thing spiritual teachers do. Remind you of that. Be present. Come back to where you are, here and now. Secondarily, motivation. We need a lot of motivation on this journey. We have a lot of inner resistance to awakening. And I'll talk more about awakening. I'll talk more about enlightenment as we go along. These are huge explorations here. So we have a lot of inner resistance to awakening. Tremendous amounts. In fact, it's the primary problem. So what we need is, all of us need this, we need motivation. We need to be able to get up out of bed and become focused and continue on what is ultimately a very challenging journey. Now, just being a regular human being is challenging too, though. And the problem is, it's a challenge that never ends, until you die. And probably, arguably, not even then. You might just bounce back, according to some theories, and come right back and still have the same challenges you face. So I'm not saying that spiritual awakening is more difficult than living as an unconscious human being. But let's face it, anybody who's ever tried to sit down and meditate knows what kind of resistance we have to that. To reel yourself in, to stop all the forward momentum in life, stop all the running around, stop all the searching, stop the frantic thoughts from just bombarding you endlessly, and just to even sit down and be still and quiet and reel all that in. Most people, when they first try to meditate, for instance, they want to run away. They feel a very strong compulsion to get up and to end the practice, and so this is one of the main things we face. So to help to motivate you to continue on this remarkable journey is a part of my job in this particular capacity before you. And I think the third one, for students who, become quite serious about their journey and it becomes a lifestyle, and for me, it just became something that was the most important thing in life. Simple as that. Nothing else really compares. I would say my relationships are right up there with it. That's a part of it, though. But the third important thing for students who become serious is for a teacher to help them to see where they're clinging, where they're holding on to ego.